Hi there, welcome to our channel. I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
And we are MV Board Gaming. And today we're looking at Mythic, Mischief. This is a game designed by Max Anderson and published by Ivy Studios. It's for 1 to 4 players, and Nick is going to go through how you play, and then we're going to give our reviews.
Hey everyone, welcome to the table, set up for a 2-player game of Mythic Mischief. Well, we're mostly set up. I want to go through a quick recap of how we set up. So the bookshelves on here, you have a little spot in the rule book. You have different types of setup for the bookshelves and clutter. And here's the one I'm using right here. But you can see there are other ones on the next page that you can set up different ways. We have this set up. After that, the first player is going to go ahead and put their people out. And we are going to look at this as well. This will tell you where the tome keeper is headed. So they're going to go here first, here second, here third. We have tokens for that, so we can go ahead and put those out there. So 1, they're going to go there first. They always start in the middle here. 2, here, 3, here. So we know they're going to head the quickest path toward this one. The active player in a tie will decide what the quickest path is. So the active player could decide to go here or here after their movement. This on the card shows how many moves they will have when it's their phase. These will show you where to put the tomes. Every faction has different tomes in their thing, so we're going to put 4 of these out in this situation. I'll put 1 here, 1 here, and my opponent's doing the same thing. 1 here and 1 here per this card. This also tells you when your person is caught where they will respawn these circles. So when we're all set up, everyone, for argument's sake, let's just say that we are out here. I'll just put everybody out. And there will be yellow ones out as well. I'm just not going to set up for my opponent necessarily. And then from here, the first thing we do is the first player is going to have their actions, and they're pre-set up. So if I take this board, you can see there's dots here. It tells you where the dice go and what value they have. And you can see that I am set up already here for the vampires, blue team. And these are the actions I can take. And they also have a special action as well. These are how many times I can do that. So I can move 3 times total this round. I can do their special ability of lure once this round. I can conceal with these walls. You can see that everyone has a different movement with the walls. The vampires, they move it to the like a perpendicular from where it is. You can see they move to different angles, the walls. And then distractibility, which would tell the tomb keeper to come toward one of your allied players here. So the blue would tell them, hey, I want you to come. I want him to lure. So he's going to move 1 closer to this, maybe. So that's that, but we do not have a distract action for that. The lure one we can do. So we have all these actions. We are going to complete as many actions as we would like, and then the tomb keeper has their phase. Tomb keeper is going to move 4 toward this number 1 to start. These clutter spots are with 2 movement. Even for us or the tomb keeper, does not matter. So we know they're going there for 2. Now, if it was a yellow active player, they're going to say, hey, I'm going to move here for 3 and here for 4. And this person is caught. The yellow would get a point. And that, we should be at 0. So the yellow would get a point. This would be off the board, and when it's blue player's turn, they would put them on the board in one of those white circles. And that would be the turn. That tomb keeper moved 4, their phase is over. And then the next phase, if you collected any tomes, so when you did your movement here, if it was the blue player's turn, since we're looking at their board, they would put the tomes in the leftmost slot. So in general, if I used all these actions, let's say I used them all. I'm going to flip them all, because as you use them, you just go ahead and put them blank if you use them all. We are going to slide as far left as we can in this situation, so this is the only one that needs to be moved. And then if we collected any tombs as the round progressed, if we had them, we would slot them. So let's say that we captured a couple. We would slot them at the far left, which would enhance the actions. So if I did it 2 here, this would move twice. And I would slot them at the left to making this boosted throughout the rest of the game. If I wanted to go with a wall strategy, that would be helpful, because then we're going to set this to 2. Also, we're going to get a boost of 2. Just a straight up boost, not just, you don't need any tomes for this. At the end of your turn, you're going to go ahead and boost something twice or 2 things once. So if you really want to help your movement, maybe you go make this a 4, and you're going to reset everything to where you're at. So I boosted this twice. I'm going to set this to 1, set this to 1, and this will still be blank. I still will not have this. Now here, I have this one-time use ability. However, if I collect tombs, I can, instead of boosting abilities, I can put 1 here. And this just is a special ability that you can use. Neighboring enemies will move 2 spaces in any one direction. That's theirs. The zombies have something different. And also, we'll go over this in a sec here. Once this is all done and everyone's had their turns, this Tomb Keeper has been racing around the board, so now they're going to head here, then here to finish up. Once they've reached this, they're going to use any of their access movement to work toward the middle of the board. Once that's done, we're going to reveal a new card, and this will give us new places where the Tomb Keeper is heading. So you can see the 1 will now be over here where this character is, and the 2 is way up here, and the 3 is way at the bottom. So once that's complete, the game's over. You notice their movement has changed down to 3 as well, so it does take a little longer for these to reach their spots. However, you'll have more time to plan and react as well. So in essence, all you're doing is you're getting points for this person capturing your enemy and not being captured yourself. You can either win by the end of the this after lunch when they're at the 3. You can win by having the most points at that stage, or you can just have 10 captures. First one at 10 will win, and that's how you play.
All right, thank you so much, Nick, for going through how you play this game. We've played it a few times, only 2-player count though. We've experimented with all of the different characters. One time we got confused because Nick always is green, and he was trying to be a player color that he usually isn't, and I was green, and he kept moving himself. It was kind of funny. So we have tried out all the different monsters that are in the game, and yeah, we've played it a few times now, tried it out. Back-to-back games kind of thing, because it's so easy. Right away I thought this is really great because you can pull it out. Everything has these individual containers, so it's so well organized. I just love that. For the size of the box, it's not this massive box, but you still get so many different little characters, which they do have similar abilities in terms of moving and some of the distract abilities. Nothing is too crazy in their abilities, but they have a couple special features or special abilities to them that's neat. They seem pretty balanced too. Like the characters don't seem like one is really overpowering over another. Yeah, and I found that it wasn't too different when I was playing it. I enjoyed playing all of the different characters, which was a good thing to have in a game that has all of these different characters you can play.
Okay, so we're going with everything we've liked. I think the key part for me was the graphic design, the art, the production itself, the recessed boards, the box art. Everything looks great. It looks like a great game that you're going to enjoy. Maybe the one thing that doesn't look as good is the board itself. Board itself isn't as good, but everything component-wise, like you said with the trays, I love being able to just toss out trays and your player boards that are individualized. I like that a lot. And the abilities, what they do have, it is unique. The way you can manipulate other people is always unique. In different factions, they can do different things to do that. Some of them can toss somebody directly opposite of where they are. And some can go into them and move them out. The ghosts can do that.
Yeah.
And there's just different things that they can do. So you're going to find maybe that you like some factions better than others, the way that they can maneuver things, even the walls, the way they can maneuver the walls. The bookshelves, yeah. Yeah, I feel that's maybe the most clever, like the most satisfying part is when you can maybe make the tomb, what's his name, the tomb keeper, make them move a different way because you've manipulated the walls in certain ways. I think that it is a satisfying feature, but it is situational because it's not always going to be an action you're going to use at all. So you might find that it's not benefiting you at all the whole game, and you might find that there's times where it is going to benefit you a lot, and it's going to get you a higher score, and it's going to be more satisfying in a game when things do line up for you.
Yeah, and it's nice that it's not very punishing when you do get caught by the Tomb Keeper when he moves. It's nice when you can set up your opponent to lose more than one person, and you've laid that out, and then they're powerless to really make any adjustment, because once you've made your move, the tome keeper will move before the next person gets a chance to play. So it is very satisfying to set up those combinations. And it's not awful when you get taken off the board. I mean, yeah, you don't want your opponent to score too many points or else you're going to lose. But it's not, too bad. You just put yourself right back on. It's not like you lose points or you have to downgrade an ability. It's also nice that at the start of each round you get to do a little boost. So you can always improve your abilities on top of using the tomes that you pick up. So I really like that puzzle of it, is what are you going to make better? How are you going to play the next round? What is the board showing you? I like that puzzle of it. It's not chess, definitely not chess-like, but
It's only chess-like in that it's an abstract strategy game. It's not really, the theme doesn't come through at all, nothing like that. It's just a 1v1 in general, unless you do a team mode, but it's still going to play the same way. I think in team mode, you get 2 characters per faction, so it's 4 characters versus four characters. I saw on Board Game Geek that people liked it at 2 more. I thought maybe I'd like it at 4 more because you can interact a little better with a board of 4v4 versus 3v3 instead. I felt like there'd be more, you wouldn't be huddled in corners as much and hard to reach people doing, manipulate the board as much with when it's 4v4 out there. 3v3 and essentially what is a 1v1. It is a little difficult at times. You can hide away sometimes, and it's hard to get them out from corners to throw them into the field, and get them caught. So we haven't tried it at the 4. I'm interested, to see if it improves the game in that way. You got any other positives? You want to go to things you didn't care for?
I liked the quality of the components. I thought they were good. The little miniatures are very well detailed for copying the characters that you have, and everyone's got like a big chunky guy and then a slender person, like a tall one, and it kind of follows the same theme, but they're all unique for each faction. So I really like that attention to detail about that.
I like everything about the looks other than maybe the board. Everything else I thought was really good looks wise. The simple rule set, the rule book itself is really nice. Everything, like I said, everything visually is really top notch, I would say.
Yeah. Anything right off the bat that you could say is negative, aside from what you mentioned about being stuck in corners or having a difficulty maybe accomplishing some of the moves you want to do?
So I mentioned the one thing that I find satisfying in the game. That's it. I mean, everything else I don't find that satisfying. I don't find the gameplay that satisfying. I just unfortunate that this one is a little bit of a letdown. I'll just spoil it right away. This one I had high hopes for, and it didn't shine for me. As a 1v1 skirmish type game, abstract strategy, I felt like everything I'm looking at was top notch. I loved what I'm looking at, love what I'm seeing, and my hopes get high when you see the production of the game. Then you play the game, and it's just it's like a Burgle Brothers but I didn't enjoy it as much nearly.
Yeah.
I enjoy Burgle Brothers quite a bit, and it has the same mechanism where you're the program movement type thing of your enemy that's going out there, except this isn't cooperative, obviously. It has that, and I didn't get a kick out of it like I did in Burgle Brothers. It didn't have the special spots and stuff that I could do. I could trigger this off here. It didn't have any of that. It just had, your actions of your faction, and you can manipulate it in certain ways. And sometimes, like I said, you get caught. Your opponent's in corners, or I'm in a corner. That's where you want to be. You're not going to get as manipulated as much. You're not going to get thrown into the path as easily, and it kind of. You score points, but it feels like at times there's a little bit of a gridlock, or it's too difficult to get multiple points because you can't just keep throwing people into the fire. You got to move over there, somehow wheel them out of that corner and try to do stuff. And you really don't have that many actions on the good actions. You can boost them in different ways, and a lot of the best actions cost 2 boosts just to get 1 extra. And you can put the tomes on them to help it. In the end, you're trying to figure out what you want to improve, and it just didn't shine for me.
Yeah, I did. Sorry. I did feel that a bit of a somber feeling when we were playing, because it was like we were leading up to something and then suddenly the game is over. Although I didn't think the game needed to be longer. No. So I'm not saying that.
Not at all.
It just didn't feel like I was accomplishing as much. I wasn't getting huge scores or big combos. I mean, I was fortunate if something was, did happen, and it landed that I got a couple people. But yeah, it was grueling to try to pull people out of spots. I agree.
It depends how you play, I guess. If you're just trying to scoot them in and back away, which is what we're kind of doing, maybe it's not in the spirit of the game, but that just seems natural to me. In a game like this, you just want to push somebody else in and get the heck away so you're not getting taken.
Yeah.
And it kind of dulls the game. And we've tried all these factions trying to make the game better and hoping that it comes through, and I just haven't felt it in any of the factions I've played. I haven't felt like, oh, now the game's really going well. Occasionally I have a good turn where it's like, oh, I can see why people would like that because something I may have done that worked out. But in general, it's unfortunate because it's not a long game, and I'm still ready to be done sooner than it's done, which is not good, not a good sign. And it doesn't take long, but it just seems like, oh man, I'd rather be doing something else.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I kind of felt that vibe when we were playing. I'll give my score. I gave it a 7.4. Honestly, for what it was, I had fun playing it with Nick. I don't mind, it wasn't a letdown to me because it was new to me. I didn't have expectation. It just came out of a box and I played it, so I didn't have like a anything built up before I played it. So
I listened to reviewers before the game even came out, previewing it, and they were raving about it. And it was reviewers I trusted, and maybe I didn't think it would be their genre necessarily. Like, oh wow, they like this game. It's not really their genre that I know of. And it's like, what? For me, it's kind of my genre a little bit. There's bits and pieces. I like the head-to-head combat in some games. I like Unmatched. I like Summoner Wars. I like these different games.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be, something maybe even better. It seemed like it was getting good hype. And then when it arrived and I saw what it was after a few plays, after the first play, I was like, okay, I think it's going to get better, though. I think we'll be able to figure out the strategy and get better turns. And it just didn't happen. I haven't seen any reviews since it came out, so I don't know what people are thinking at the moment. It seems like people like the game. It's just unfortunate that I didn't get that same feeling. So I'll give my score. It is lower, unfortunately. It's for me, it's a 5.5. And I don't really need the game anymore. I don't feel like I ever want to play it. That's really unfortunate. And, it's just me. You might love this game. This might be right up your alley if you like quick 1v1 type scenarios. I didn't find it as satisfying in that regard, but maybe you will. It's hard for me to say. It just didn't click for me.
For sale to the highest bidder.
There it is. Mythic Mischief.
Thank you so much for your watching today. We hope you enjoyed this video and our brutal honesty. And if you did, click the like, thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more great, honest reviews. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.